less privacy equaling more freedom? Less privacy will give us better leaders. Brandon Gentile here. There was once a farmer named Fred. He also lobbied the government to give himself and his business subsidies. Of course, because he had to make sure he could provide enough food for the entire town. An important job like that could not be left to chance. The politician, Pat, representing him in his district, dutifully agreed. No way could he be seen as a politician who turned his back on his townspeople. Inevitably, the politician did this each year for a few years. When Pat realized that the rest of the taxpayers in the budget committee weren't really paying attention to where the money was going, he decided to ask for more. During this time, he had a buddy, Rick, start up another business, but he was a lousy entrepreneur. He was lazy and didn't like to work hard, didn't have a great idea, and really just liked the thought of running his own business and being in control of his time. Pat started funneling money, the extra money, to Rick each year. Rick said in turn he would make sure he got more people to vote for Pat. Rick continually blew through the money each year and lived the high life with his company, while his company provided no value for any customers. In order to pay for his extra line item in the budget, the citizens' taxes were raised when the millage went out each year. All because there was no way to accurately assess where taxpayers' money was going. Pat was able to funnel money to Rick for 5 years and squander the economic energy and time of his townspeople who were toiling away time away from their families to subsidize bad entrepreneurs and outright criminals. This is an all too familiar sight in politics. It's just that most of it never gets caught or reported on. Do you remember things like Solyndra 10 years ago, Barack Obama's buddy, a bankrupt company just getting money funneled to it by the Green New Deals of the world? This is happening over and over and over again. Ever wonder why we don't have a budget for the country? Or why taxes just continually go up? Or why there's more and more red tape? Ron Paul, a true American and patriot, is motivated by a sense of responsibility and out of self-interest for himself, his family, and the future of his country to resist government abuse of power. He rejects the notion that patriotism means obedience to the state. It doesn't have to be this way. The world will get more private after getting less private. Kind of like forest fires. Forest fires are naturally clearing out of the underbrush that serves no purpose in a forest. It is there obstructing new growth. This is exactly what bailouts do. Bailouts and artificial currency printing hide the fact that entrepreneurs and business owners and investors are making malinvestments, are not running their companies properly, and they get bailed out. Too big to fail. Anyone ever heard of that? Too big to fail is such a thing. It's cronies getting paid off. It's buddies getting paid off. It's the Ricks of the world getting theirs while the poor and the middle class bear the brunt of it. Or have you heard the line of privatize the gains and socialize the losses? That means that Rick gets to benefit from the currency printing, gets to benefit from the opaqueness, the lack of transparency, while if he loses, he doesn't have to pay that off. It's socialized. The people pay for it through inflation, this stealth tax. Taxes get raised, currency gets printed, and as we know, the definition of inflation is a monetary phenomenon. It's just an expansion of the currency supply. So the people end up paying that off through inflation, as we're living through here in the 2020s. I do have a theory that less privacy, in terms of everything being recorded in the blockchain, will lead to more privacy. Because of the people we put in and the vetting that will take place. Let me explain. The more transparency and openness there is in the government, the more that incentivizes good people to serve. Seems common sense. Maybe I'm just a fool. But opaqueness and lack of transparency, as Jonathan Gruber, Obamacare's architect, said, are huge political advantages. As Gruber notes, aided by the stupidity of the American voter, this allows corrupt politicians the ability to rip off the voter. When there's a ledger of all that is going on, you cannot get away with the same frivolous criminal behavior. Ironically, this will lead to better people slowly making their way into government. What bad actor would want to be part of a government program if they cannot suck off the system and enrich themselves or have their agenda implemented? They slowly slink back into the dustbin of history, and government boondoggles and claptraps fade away. Again, Ron Paul, a real American hero, says truth is treason in the empire of lies. The swamp does not want to be called out. The socialist, the extremist, the Marxist, The elitists do not want to be called out. New World Order, or as some have slipped recently and said, the liberal world order. These people want to destroy your life. They want to control every facet of your life. Again, this is not me talking. This is their words, their books, their videos. This is all from the Limits to Growth, Club of Rome, World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, the John Kerrys of the world, the Prince Charles, and on and on and on. It's these people. These people are the ones that are doing this and causing the chaos, the wealth gap expanding every single day, year after year. When we have incentives that promote real leaders, they will naturally vote and enact policies that are good for citizens. The more these leaders are in government, the better laws or less red tape and bureaucracy there are to stymie innovation. Less entitlement and less leeching off the system. Merit will come back into society, and those that are cheating the system will be exposed. They will either go away or they'll be forced to get their butt in the system and actually trade their time and energy by producing value for the market instead of understanding the economy we have now where, it just makes more sense to vote myself money, to vote for politicians who are going to give me free stuff without me trading my time and energy. So there is no true value creation. Because if printing currency worked, why wouldn't we have just done this a year ago or 10 years ago or 100 years ago? Because it doesn't work. You can't just print money. That's the very essence of money. It's actually value. It's actually goods and services that were made, that were traded, time and energy that was spent, the work that was put in. Proof of work. This is why Bitcoin exists. This is why Bitcoin is the ultimate store of value. It is the ultimate monetary asset. And it will demonetize all other assets because it is the true asset. You'll have all the other asset classes will be traded off their utility, while Bitcoin will eventually suck all monetary energy into it because it cannot be debased. The rules aren't changed. They're immutable. It's decentralized and it exposes bad players. And again, these bad players will have to get off their butt and actually do something or they will go away. Let's repeat that. Because of Bitcoin and the exposure, the proof of work that has to be put into the system, it will drive out bad actors and it will increase the good actors. Therefore, bad actors will either have to change their ways or they will get run over by the system. They will be gone. Ultimately, this is what gives a country value. And GDP, gross domestic product, is the economic output, is the actual value creation, is the goods and services. That's it. Currency itself does nothing. That's not GDP. That's not growth. That's nothing. That's just the unit of value. That's a unit you're using to trade that economic value. Not printing currency. Again, like we said, the actual time and value spent is what gives the country its value, or the GDP, the economic output. Not printing currency, like we said. Like today's Marxists, the Leninists, the Stalinists, the Communists, the Socialists, the World Economic Forum, all the global leaders, the guy in Sri Lanka who's saying they're going to be rich by using ESG, and Klaus Schwab, all these people, they are completely wrong and completely 180 degrees opposite of freedom. Currency printing just leads you to inflation, like we mentioned, and more corruption and degradation of the political system, tax codes, and rules. Taxation is just a silent printing currency, inflation is just a silent tax, stealing the economic energy, the economic time. It is a literal theft. It's literal criminality, stealing of other people's time, energy, away from things they could be doing or want to be doing, or away from their family. That's all it is. That's why the wealth gap keeps continually spiraling out of control. And that's why since 1971 has gone off the rails, because we are decoupled in 1971 from gold, from an actual monetary asset. Merit will reassert itself because nature's laws cannot be held back forever. I repeat, nature's laws cannot be held back forever. Buckle up. The artificial playground we've been living in for multiple decades is coming apart at the seams. Just turn on the news and look around the world. Inflation caused by the currency printing from the elites has thrown us into hell that only sound money and rule of law can fix. Stay strong. If you like these videos, blog posts, please like and subscribe. Please share with anyone you think might get something out of this. Or if you don't like it, please dislike. Please give us comments, questions, concerns, anything that we can fix, that we can do better. We really appreciate that. We appreciate your time, your energy, your attention. It's the most important asset we have. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.